In a series that is so reliant upon the physical strength of their characters, I think it's pretty ironic that the best character in the series is one who is never the strongest at any point in time. He was bested by this guy and this one. These guys, this one really gave him some problems. Shorty right here, everyone's favorite Bugman, and Mr. I Love Candy himself. So how could a character who constantly loses be considered the best? Well, it just comes down to what you value. From his very first appearance, Vegeta immediately captured our attention with his comments about Raditz. He so casually spoke down on a fighter who literally pushed Goku past what he could handle. So when he arrived on Earth and played the back, anyone could tell that it was simply because he was just above dealing with the likes of Piccolo, Krillin, or Tien. Goku's arrival on the battlefield was the signal for Vegeta's character to finally shine. And boy was it special. He shows just how ruthless he is by killing his partner and one of the 3 remaining Saiyans at the time. Yet soon after that, he exhibits his respect for a fair fight by letting Goku pick the venue for the battle. Much like Goku, Vegeta is excited to go against any strong fighter, but he didn't know exactly what he was getting himself into. Even before his fight with Goku, it is apparent that his arrogance is one of his defining traits. But when Goku started gaining the upper hand on Vegeta, Vegeta's determination was on full display. In life, there are those people that just can't handle when things don't go their way. And I've seen many times in anime and cartoons alike when the overpowered villain starts losing and they just don't know how to handle it. In a weird way, you had to respect just how hard Vegeta fought against Goku. He constantly mentions how he's a super elite and that Goku is low class. Why would a super elite exert this much energy, going through so much pain? It made me wonder just what in Vegeta's life could have pushed him to become this relentless. Well, on Namek, I got my answer. We knew in the Saiyan arc that Vegeta wanted to wish for immortality, and that carried over to Namek. Most times, I hate when an antagonist wants immortality because it's like, why? I can understand not wanting to die, but living forever doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, Vegeta searches all over Namek in pursuit of the Dragon Balls, committing heinous acts and enduring some minor yet very painful setbacks, but against all odds, he does it. He collects all 7 Dragon Balls, and as Krillin and Gohan agree to wish for Vegeta's immortality, they show up. They make quick work of Vegeta, Krillin, and Gohan, and if it weren't for Goku, all 3 of them would have died. That's L number 2 for Vegeta. But like he has before, he bounced back and was stronger than ever, even capable of going toe-to-toe with Frieza, but that was before he transformed. And for a while there, all Vegeta could do was watch. There may have been a hint of fear, but he was also making a plan. And as crazy as it was, the plan to nearly kill himself worked. And then he faced Frieza. And for a while, he put up a great fight. But then he put all he had into one blast, and with little effort, Frieza simply kicked it away. Vegeta was stunned. And remember how a while ago I said, why did Vegeta want immortality? Well, it was for this moment right here. These tears are what Vegeta tried to avoid. That feeling of hopelessness. The slow death that he knew he would endure. That's why he needed the Dragon Balls. And as Frieza shoots a death beam through his chest, Vegeta takes another L. And what made it worse is that he had to pour his heart out to someone he truly didn't like. He cried in front of those who bested him, just so that Goku could carry on the wheel of beating Frieza, the tyrant who enslaved their race. That moment of weakness went against everything Vegeta believed in. This complex guy here finally started to make sense to me. His Saiyan blood coupled with his tragic backstory makes for a fighter who not only wanted to get stronger, but constantly felt the need to get stronger as well. And although he was in dire straits, it was the first sign of growth. 4 years passed and a lot changes for Vegeta. He lived on Earth, had a child with Bulma, and became a Super Saiyan. But the way he acted didn't change much at all. Yeah, he didn't feel the need to kill the Z fighters at all times, but honestly, I don't think that was ever his #1 goal. Once he fought Goku, it all shifted to just getting his rematch. Even with the son, he was just as arrogant, was extremely narcissistic, and threw caution to the wind at almost every chance he got. So was it any surprise that he took on Android 18 with little hesitation? No. But what was surprising was how bad he got beat. All of the Z fighters acknowledged that Vegeta was likely stronger than Goku, so in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, Vegeta got her. He probably can't take on both 17 and 18 at the same time, but one-on-one he's good. Boy, was I wrong. One broken arm later, Vegeta realizes that all his training in new Super Saiyan power was no match for the androids. Another L. And after all he went through on Namek, he didn't seem to grow very much as a character. And that trend continues when Cell fights. Vegeta and Trunks exit the hyperbolic time chamber with brand new levels of power and are more than capable of beating Cell until Vegeta lets him become perfect. And as I'm sure we all expected, he was no match for Cell. So with his back against the wall, Vegeta flies high and prepares the final flash, a display of power that shook the very foundations of the Earth, showcasing Vegeta's incredible strength and his refusal to back down. With all of his options exhausted, Vegeta disregards the Earth as he plans to hit Cell with everything he has, and again, it doesn't work. And what makes it even worse is that his own son was hiding just how strong he was to project Vegeta's pride. Another L for Vegeta. And until Cell comes back to Earth, Vegeta is essentially a non-factor in the Cell arc. But when he witnesses his son die, it is the first time Vegeta ever acted unselfishly. He didn't consider that Cell was in a completely different stratosphere of strength. He flew headfirst into an encounter that could have cost him his life. This was the first time Vegeta outwardly displayed his care for another person. And then later on, Vegeta blasted Cell to give Gohan the opportunity to unleash his power and win the battle. Vegeta, for the second time in the series, shows just how much he was changing as a person. Vegeta vowed to never fight again, and although he did, the defeat of Cell marked the start of a new chapter in Vegeta's life. If you've been around here long enough, you know I don't like the Buu saga, but it was very effective in completing Vegeta's personal character arc. Goku coming back to Earth for a day gave Vegeta the chance to finally settle the score, and he seemingly slips into his old ways. He even let a warlock quote-unquote control him for greater levels of strength just so he could fight evenly with his rival. This was against Vegeta's principles though. He didn't like handoffs for strength, and he definitely did not like the idea of him being controlled, but this was all a part of a plan. He wanted to beat Goku and then sacrifice his life for the sake of the Earth as well. Unfortunately for Vegeta, he took a couple more L's. He didn't even really beat Goku, and he died just for Buu to come back with no problems. His sacrifice was a great moment and definitely the most selfless thing he had ever done up until that point, but it's not as selfless as what Goku did with Cell. That ulterior motive of matching Goku has selfishness written all over it. When Vegeta comes back to Earth and fuses with Goku, I guess that was a sign of growth, but I want to talk about what happened on the sacred world of the Kais. Goku and Vegeta go right to their Saiyan instincts and insist on fighting alone, and Goku gets his chance to go first. And it is here where it all comes to a head. Vegeta's speech about Goku being the best was more than just an admission of Goku's strength, but it was also what could be considered the most humbling moment for Vegeta. For someone who had been beaten by a low-class warrior, his slave master, a bug man, and a fat piece of gum, his most humbling moment being him smiling and admitting that the way he thought all these years wasn't the best is unbelievably poetic. Because see, Vegeta does not like to lose. I actually think it's fair to say he hates it, but he is one who takes defeat in battle like a man and vows to be better the next time. But he always stood by his principles. His methodology and mindset were unwavering since his introduction. But to stand on the sidelines during a battle after being defeated time after time and realizing that he'd been wrong for so many years is such a great moment. He goes from the arrogant prince who cares not for others and will do everything to achieve his selfish goals to realizing that that way of thinking would never get him the strength he desired. Earlier I mentioned how Vegeta's sacrifice against Fat Buu was just a little selfish. When Vegeta fights against Buu alone for the second time, he made a different kind of sacrifice. He knew there was a chance that he would die, but he wasn't trying to make a grand gesture. He was simply playing a role for someone he knew could get the job done. Vegeta, playing a role. I mean, we saw a glimpse of this when Gohan fought Cell, but this was different. And after Buu's defeat, as Goku gave Vegeta the thumbs up, that was the moment Vegeta's character arc concluded for me. That was the signal that they finally understood and accepted each other for how different they are. Since their first fight, Goku always believed that Vegeta could be different, but that's who Goku is. Characters change because of Goku, and Vegeta was no different. He went from a selfish individual who had an everlasting desire to be the strongest to a fighter that is satisfied with his role being just one of the strongest. He was satisfied without having that desire fulfilled. He found peace. I don't know if you remember, but in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that Vegeta being the best character comes down to what you value. Well, what I value is growth. And there is no better example of growth in Dragon Ball Z than Vegeta. But let me know what you think. Who do you think is the best character in Dragon Ball Z and why? With that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it more than you guys will ever know. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers and everyone counts. Again, this is BigTune and thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.